Well, good morning. I suppose that we should speak in English, or at least a bit. No, I congratulate all of you. It's impressive what are you doing here. Congratulations. It's absolutely impressive that all of you can have this education, that you are making all this effort to study. It's all the subjects are in English, or do you have both in Spanish and in English, or how does it work?
They start with the first term, they have an English language course, the first 4 months. Then the second period, they have 2 subjects in English, 4 in Spanish. Then they have 4 subjects in English, 2 in Spanish. And to the second year, they have all the subjects in English. In
English. And also, you are, for instance, you are learning Japanese, or you already speak very well Japanese, and you French, and well, I think, how many of you are already learning Japanese or French?
11.
Okay. 10 or 15.
Japanese.
Japanese. And French? 2 girls.
How many?
15.
15. And when are you going to start with German?
We already started.
You already started?
Yeah. Do we have someone who speaks German, who is taking classes of German? No? Yeah, in the demo class,
Okay.
we will have someone who speaks German.
Well, it's absolutely impressive, and I congratulate you, because in a global world, as you perfectly know, you need all these tools. You need to speak English, you need to speak other kind of languages, as Japanese, French, German, or whatever. It's very important to have a very good education and to have it in many different languages. So you are an example for all the country, and that's why I decided to come here today. The Deputy Secretary Salvador Jara came here, I think, last week or a couple of weeks ago, and of course I know all this project, Governor, and I congratulate you, Governor. This is an impressive project, and as he said, I knew the project since we start. Well, even before we start the government, when we were in the period of transition, when President Enrique Peña Nieto won the election, and then, as you know, we had a period of transition of 4 or 5 months, and at that moment I was in charge as well of the education in the period of transition. So that's why I knew this project, as many other projects that Governor already had at that moment. And of course, President Peña was very enthusiastic about all of them. So I knew this project. I came here for a meeting with something about higher education, like a month ago, right? More or less. And the governor told me about you and about this university and how this and the progress that you have made. And last week, the Deputy Secretary Jara came here, and he was absolutely impressed, and he told me about that. So that's why I decided to come here today. We have in a couple of hours, we will have a meeting with other governors, because probably you know that in this effort to change and to reform the education in Mexico, with the education reform, we now have a new way of organizing and to cooperate between the federal government and the state governments. Now we have divided the country in 5 educational regions, and we are now having regional meetings in order to improve on the implementation of the education reform and to have a regional view of the education. So we will have this meeting with the region, with the western region of the country. But before we start this very important meeting here in Aguascalientes with all the governors, I wanted to come here and to know and by myself this experience that you are having and all the effort that you are putting on your education, and to demonstrate all Mexico. And that's one of the reasons that I'm here today, to demonstrate Mexico that it's possible. It's possible to have a very good higher education, technological education, bilingual education. You are an example of what we want to do in all the country. To have this university here in Aguascalientes, absolutely bilingual, where all of you, of course, speak very well Spanish, but also speak very well English. And probably after hearing you, now you speak better English than Spanish. But it's impressive. And you are not only learning English, you are also learning Japanese, or you are learning French. Now you are starting to learn German, and you know, there is no limit. Sky is the limit. And you are showing all Mexico that sky is the limit. That you can be here, you can study, you will have, of course, because you are having a very good education, you will have a very good job. And especially here if you are in Aguascalientes, who is it's real. Aguascalientes is one of the states that it's growing. Probably you have the highest growth in the country, or one of the top 3 economic growths of the country. And but what is impressive is that, for instance, the rates of economic growth here in Aguascalientes, one of the reasons that you are having all these investments here in Aguascalientes is because the education. So it's when we have the vision that we can transform the world through education, and that we can make this country better because of education, and of course the living or the living standards of all of you, of the people of Mexico, through education, it's the dream that we have with the education reform. And you are, I repeat to you, you are an example for all the country. It is possible to have these kind of projects in Mexico, to make them successful, and you are a show of that. So I'm wordless. I congratulate all of you. It's impressive what you are doing, what you are achieving, and what we are going to do is to show all Mexico through you that it's possible. And in Mexico, we can do things very well. There is, I don't want to promote anyone, but there is a campaign that probably you have seen that says "A la Mexicana," and there is an stereotype, an old stereotype, that doing things a la Mexicana is the wrong way, and you are showing all Mexico that a la Mexicana, it's a good way to do the things, and to be absolutely excellent on all the things that you are doing and you are achieving. So I'm very proud, and all Mexico is very proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. Now we invite our special guest to have a seat at the front line to take a photograph and to have a graphic memory of your visit.